Hey, Big Brother live feeds tonight. I was watching Liz. Wait a minute, she might not have been on that one. I know Shelly and Audrey. I know Clay showed up for part of it, and Steve. And they were sitting around talking about the casting call for the show. And they tell you not to talk about production, and they're sitting around talking about the first time I saw you was at this place, and, remember when we all had to get in the golf carts and do this and that, and I remember seeing you, and you were having people get you all different types of lipsticks, or you were having people do this and that, and I thought you were high maintenance, and this and that, and, one of them said they thought Steve was this big doofus, I guess, basically, because he was wearing sunglasses inside, and they were there for several hours, and certain people were in the one casting call, and certain ones were in the second casting call, but some of them had seen each other before, and were kind of hoping somebody didn't get casted, but they did, and somebody was saying Mama Day, when they saw her, that she didn't have much of expression. They thought she had a little bit of an attitude, so that was weird. And then they proceeded to talk about the first time they met somebody and blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm sitting there waiting for the producers to come on and say, hey, we don't want you to talk, or housemates are not permitted to talk about production. They keep saying that. Well, they weren't saying anything. All of a sudden you heard Shelly, Audrey, I think Clay was sitting there. You are not permitted to talk about production. And Steve, they kept saying it was Steve that started it, Steve perpetrated it, Steve. Well, then Steve was talking, and then the producer says, Steve, I said, stop it. You are not allowed to talk about production. Well, then, I guess whoever it is, this piece of hair won't stay down. Okay, whoever it is said that, stop it. And they got even angrier when they said it. That's all they said was stop it. So they were trying to change the subject, but still talk about it, but talk about it in a different way, where people were thinking they were talking about once they were in the house, not once they were in the casting area before they got into the house. So Steve said he didn't think he was ever going to hear his name be called. He didn't think anything would ever come of the casting process, because he wanted to, he applied for it and he checked it off his bucket list. Nobody was ever going to call him. Well, I guess he got called because he's casted. Well, and they were talking about, what'd you do your promos? What'd you do on your promos? And he's like, well, I did this and this, but I think the one they probably took was me standing there looking down and then going like this with my glasses. And then somebody else was talking about, well, what'd you do? He's like, Clay said, well, I just walked and then I crossed my arms, which is, or put his hand, I don't know. It's either across his chest, across his waist. And they're talking about the promo at the very beginning, and Audrey was talking about something about a hat and possibly, I don't know. They were talking about those, and then of course the production crew they don't want you talking about production, which that's still considered part of production. So, this week is all about, some Super Bowl guy wants to party all week. So I guess a few minutes ago when I was doing another YouTube video, it's almost 3 o'clock my time, which means it's almost midnight their time. There was a noise in the storage room, and they brought them alcohol, and then everybody was dancing around in the living room area. I don't know if they had music or what it was, because I think you guys were probably hearing feedback on my feeds when I was, or on my videos. I'm in a different room, and I had the TV turned on. I didn't think it was that loud, but I have a fan going so the sound might travel. Then I turned it down for another video, and I could still hear it. You're probably hearing the sound of my fan. And then I can see it over top of the computer, but I can't hear it because I muted it. And I'm hoping, with it being far enough away, that you're not hearing Jamie snoring either, because his is getting kind of loud. And I feel bad about keeping him up, but I want to watch TV in the bedroom when I'm done, and once he's asleep, he's not going to care what it sounds like. We got up pretty late today, and the rain is what sometimes keeps me asleep. Like, if we have a really long storm, and it's not, too torrentious, but it's just it could be like a day where it's just a bunch of rain and a bunch of wind, and that's about it. That'll lull me to sleep and keep me asleep for some reason. I don't know why, but it seems to. I just bit my tongue again. I did the same thing the other night. I was talking about something, and I wanted to say something, and I bit down on my tongue, and it bled, and I had an ice cube over it trying to... It stopped the bleeding, but I can feel the spot that's a little still sore. Jamie told me he thought it's almost like I pierced my own tongue on the side. Like, I'm not into that. Alright, back to Big Brother, live feeds. Alright, so... I found out through one of my sisters that my other sister... Well, I found out through my sister Sarah that my sister Mandy, I think, is starting to watch Big Brother this season. Yay! That means we have more in common. I think this might be her first season starting, so maybe I can talk about a little bit of it with her. I know American Idol will be ending after this next season, so maybe she's looking for a new show or just something, or she hears me and Sarah talk about it all the time that she wants to get in on it, and that's fine if she does, because the show's interesting. I think once I get through all the old episodes of the American Big Brother, I'll probably have to pick another show, because I don't think I'm going to do the other seasons of them on the other countries. I tend to get into a type of show, and I like to watch a lot of them for a while, and then I sort of fade out. And I did that with Top Chef, I think it was last summer. I want to say it was last summer. That sounds about right. And we started watching season 1. We did Ink Master 2, and we watched it for a while, and it was pretty good. And then it sort of just lost its novelty, and I sort of stopped watching it so much. It's not that I wouldn't watch it. It's just that I started watching other stuff, and, it was a filler for when there was nothing on. And then you get to be Christmas time, and you watch all the Christmas movies, and then when shows are on hiatus, you go to another show and start watching the seasons of that, and it's good, but I can't even remember what season I'm on or who's on it, so yeah, that's what's going on that. So I have a feeling once I get through all the seasons of Big Brother to get to where I was before, then I'll have to wait, until next summer to see the next season, but I'll keep watching this one. And I'll watch other shows on CBS and see, the new fall shows and stuff. Having internet TV allows you to watch stuff when you want to, and you don't have to DVR it because it's available for you whenever you want to watch it. Just you can't let too much time go past after a show airs if you're trying to keep up with the season, because sometimes they pull half of the episodes to show the other. They might not buy, like Netflix. When you watch a show on Netflix, most of the time, now they have some that this show called In Between or Between, where you would get a new episode every week. But most times, Netflix buys stuff by the seasons. They don't buy just one episode at a time. Hulu Plus does, and I'm sure Amazon Prime does, but Netflix doesn't. They usually buy the whole season at once. So, as Hulu's buying episodes, the season's going on and on and on and on and on. Well, about midway through the season, a lot of times the very half of the season will be gone, and you'll just have the second half to keep watching. I don't know the logistics that go into it or anything, so Big Brother seems to be the one I'm watching this summer, but come fall time, I'll be into all my other shows, plus keeping up with my soap operas that I miss Big Brother when it's not on, but then it lets me watch other stuff. So you give up one thing to watch something else, then you sit here and you go, now what? October, Walking Dead. I believe it's October the 11th that comes back, so looking forward to that. Anyways, I have put out, several videos for you guys tonight, and I will get back on a fairly regular schedule in the next few weeks. I got stuff going on, so sometimes you might see 2 or 3 videos out from me one night and then nothing for a day or two, but just keep in mind that I'm still coming up with new concepts and new stuff to talk to you guys about, and that's what's on my mind right now. Like, fave, share, subscribe, Megan Shepherd 81, MeganShepherd81 @gmail.com. Have a good one.